Hi, it's Katie from Little Lemon Stitches, and today we are going to make this adorable bow. Now there are lots of ways you can customize, but I'm going to show you this version first before we talk about any of those options. So for me, I'm going to grab red. This is going to be my primary yarn. And then I need an accent color, which I'm choosing to be white. So just some classic colors. You can see what they turn out like here. So grab whatever yarn you want and get yourself a hook. I am using a 4mm. You need a needle and some snippety snips to get started. So we're going to start with the primary yarn color, and mine is red. I'm going to go ahead and just pull some yarn out here to get exactly what I need. And now we are going to make a slip knot first, and you are going to chain 50. Now you can chain more if you want a longer bow. You can chain less if you want a shorter bow. Just know if you chain more, you are going to be likely adding more rows than I am, and if you chain less, then you may have to do some smaller detailing, like smaller scallops, or you just may have to modify, because if it's smaller, then the less space you have when you actually do the fold on the bow. So go ahead and chain, and then meet me back when you're finished. Now we are going to half double crochet back down the chain. This might be more than 50, it might be less than 50, just depending on what you do. And by the end of this, you can determine if you're happy with the thickness of the chain. So go ahead and half double crochet all the way back down, and then meet me back. For the size of my bow, all I need is 2 total rows, or I guess a foundation chain, and then 1 row of half double crochet. So this is when you need to decide, do you want to add extra rows? Are you happy with the length? Because then we're going to go into detailing, and it'll be really frustrating if you've done all that work and you're not satisfied. So I'm going to go ahead and cut here and fasten off. I'm also going to use this time to weave the ends because I don't need these for any reason. So that just makes it easier. One less thing to worry about when I get to the finishing point. Before we move to the next step, just a little preview of what this bow is going to look like. I am really struggling with how to fold this right now, but I do have a sneaky little technique for you that Kelsey from Chubbs and Dre Crochet taught me, and so I'll show you that at the end, but that's going to be about the size of what we have. Now we're ready for our detailing color yarn, and again, mine is going to be white. The first detail that we're going to add is a scalloped edge to one side. So I'm actually going to start on the bottom portion. I'm going to pull a loop through one of the bottom corners, and I do like to tie a knot instead of slip stitch. I just feel like it's more secure. It's probably totally in my brain, but that's just how I do it. And to make the scallop, we are going to single crochet, half double crochet, and single crochet all in one stitch. Then you're going to slip stitch into the next and repeat until you have finished that whole side. So again, we are going to single crochet, half double crochet, single crochet, all in one stitch, and then slip stitch in the next one. That slip stitch just gives definition to those scallops. I do want to mention, if you have made a larger ribbon, I don't know, not a ribbon, a larger, primary color strip, then you are gonna want to make bigger scallops. And an easy way to do that is to add half double crochets in the middle of those single crochets. So for example, you would do single crochet, half double, and then single, and that'll give you a larger scallop. Once you're finished, it should look something like this. There is going to be a pretty clear front and back side, at least there is for me. And so that's why we're going to fold it in a particular way so that the front of the scallops only show. So you can see the back side right here and the front. If you want, you can stop here and make a little pet collar. How fancy. But we're not doing that today. We're going to make a bow. The next step is going to be to slip stitch down the next portion. So I did not fasten off. I just wrapped around that short edge, and now we are going to slip stitch all the way down to give a nice little white border, which, by the way, I think this would be super cute in gingerbread colors. I'm thinking about doing that now. It sort of gives the appearance of icing down the strip. All right, once you get to the end, just slip stitch all the way back into the original scallop stitch and make sure everything looks good to you. If you're satisfied, then go ahead and fasten off, weave your ends, and cut any excess yarn. Now we're ready to fold. Again, super cute dog collar, but today is a bow. And let me show you a really easy technique that's going to help you not have to put, scallops halfway through one row, slip stitches halfway through one row. So you are going to lay it flat, fold one side over, then the other. It does not matter what. And then you're just going to bring the very ends down. Now, it doesn't look much like a bow, but you do just fluff those edges out. When you wrap the yarn around the middle, it's actually going to come together really nicely. And depending on how much yarn you use, you can shape it differently. So this is going to be how it turns out. So again, we lay it flat. I pull the left side over. Then we have the right side. They overlap. You can see how they overlap here. And then you're going to take those front ends that you folded over, pull them out, pull them down, and then we're ready to move to our next step. For the yarn that's going to wrap around the center of the bow, you can choose whatever color you want. I do normally go with the primary color. I just think it looks best. And I am going to wrap and tie a knot on the back side, just for some extra security. Now I am just going to wrap around, and again, depending, Well, let me straighten my sides first, but I am going to wrap around, and depending on how you wrap it, how much you wrap it, it can change the shape. So as you wrap, just play around with it. The top half circles, the top of the bow, you're going to want to play with that and pull it forward to give it more of a bow shape, just to see what it looks like. I'm not doing that here because I already kind of know what I'm looking for. And so I tie a knot when I'm happy with it. And this is when I'm going to pull out the bow. So there's one side, there's the other. You can totally do this full scalloped on both sides. Actually, Kelsey from Chubs and Dre Crochet has done that, and I'll put a picture right here. I may have, posted it up a little earlier too. I do like the way the slip stitch looks and how it's running throughout, but if you do it a little bigger, I think the scallops all around will look really good. So I'm just gonna cut right here. I'm gonna weave the ends. I do typically weave them through the bow to add some extra security, and you may want to have a longer tail if you're putting this on a hair clip or a keychain, or even making this an ornament or a gift tag. It's really up to you and your purposes. I'm just making a little bow today. I think I might hot glue it later to something, but I'm going to pull it through the middle. Then I'm going to use this one and pull it through the bottom to the top, just again for extra security. Then we're going to weave those in and cut off the excess. I hope you loved this tutorial. Our bow is finished. I would love to see your finished products if you'll send it to me or tag me. If you like this tutorial, don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave me some comments, and let me know what you want to see more of in the future.